Well, Amara, thank you for joining me today. So you're running for Jefferson County School Board. Why did you decide to run?
Yeah, Brandon, thanks for having me. So I'm a mother of two school-age kids. My eldest is in ninth grade and my youngest is in sixth grade. And I've lived here in Colorado for 22 years and have been running a small business for the last 8. Education is hugely important to me. It's been a pathway to success for me and my whole family. I'm third generation Italian American, and public education brought our family out of poverty. So for me, education is power. It's autonomy, and I'm worried about what I see here in Jefferson County. In a lot of ways, I think that there's a lot to be done, and so do you want to get into that? What I'm running on?
Definitely, yeah, go for it.
Um, so the three things, and honestly, I've been kind of digging into it more because during COVID, we pulled our kids out of school. They were in private school for a couple of years. We didn't like the fact that they were in mass and online learning, so we gave up online learning for only mass. And I do think that they were able to thrive, and I feel blessed that we were able to do that. But I guess kind of what we saw was that we're coming back now to public education. There's an achievement gap, and it was happening prior to COVID, right? So started digging into the numbers, and our proficiency levels are down a tremendous amount. So literacy, we're in the 50% level, and then math, it's even worse. It's about 30%, give or take, depending on what grade level you look at. But that to me is abysmal. I mean, we're talking about the future leaders of our country, and proficiency is average, right? So we're not thriving. We're not raising a whole generation of children who will be able to lead, to think critically, to make solutions. So I'm worried about that. I'm worried about the achievement levels. And then the money. We've been operating at a deficit. We've projected to do so in the near future. I've heard talk about another mill levy next year. But meanwhile, in 2018, there was a levy. And I know you've had Natalie Melton on to talk about mill numbers, and she clearly knows a tremendous amount about that. But I think we have plenty of money. We're not being responsible. So I want to say, okay, $1.4 billion, where's that all going? Are there capital improvement expenditures that have gone awry? Are there ways we can be more efficient with everything we're budgeting for? I know there was a pool built in Arvada a few years ago that was several $1,000,000 that the district contributed, and to me that's a want, not a need. So as a practical mind, I think that I could lend that to the district as well. Let's be mindful with our money. We only have a finite amount. We shouldn't be asking the taxpayers for another round. Did we figure out, did we meet our goals from the 2018 mill? Did we are there things that we identified? In fact, there's a Moss Adams audit report from 2021 that had some recommendations on weaknesses and deficiencies, and those, to my understanding, haven't been addressed. So I think there's cleanup that needs to be done before taxpayers are asked for any more money. And then I'm worried about the third thing that's really concerning is mental health, and of course, everybody's seen through the pandemic mental health decline, no matter what age you are. But I think especially with teens, they're seeing, or not teens, I'm sorry, children in general. I'm thinking teens because that's what I have in my household. But there's electronic communication. There's so many things that kids are seeing us argue about. I don't think it's healthy the way we're communicating. We need, as a community, to get together, have discussions, have arguments, and come to solutions, and not hide behind Twitter or X. And I think that that would solve a lot of problems. So I want to see more community engagement for kids, and I think that would solve a lot of problems. So.
Yeah, I really like those planks. I think the achievement gap is definitely one of the most important things, right? I mean, if the schools have any purpose at all, it's to do a good job at teaching these kids, preparing them for life, giving them this education and understanding of how the world works. And if they're failing at that, then yeah, then we got to ask even harder questions, right? Well, hey, the kids aren't doing what they need to do, and you're asking for more money. You have so much money already. Where's this money going? The kids are failing. Let's really dig in and dive into that. So I think those are two really tied together components that make a lot of sense. And I hope that, parents in Jefferson County respond well to that. I myself am a product of Jefferson County schools from preschool to high school. And it seems, I don't know if it's changed too much in the years since I've been there, but it seems like, some of it has gone downhill, unfortunately. I mean, what are you seeing with your family? Are they going back to Jefferson County schools now?
So my daughter is at Green Mountain High School and she's enjoying it. She did in private school, it was so small, she felt like she was in a fishbowl. So she likes being one of many rather than one of few. And honestly, I mean, what she's telling me about the conversations are good. She told me that her civics teacher was telling them to question everything, fact check, be sure you understand where the resource comes from. Is it truth? Find several resources. So I love what I'm hearing from her, and perhaps, like you said, there's certainly a lot to celebrate, and there's always going to be. And I guess that to that point, I'm about being positive and taking where we are, and everybody has something to offer, and all the kids in public school, should be able to thrive at something. So maybe that's not an academic path, but we have a lot of trade jobs. I mean, there's vocational schools, we're in tech, they're doing great things. I think we just need to be aware of strengths and play to those and encourage kids to just learn, right? I think, yeah, I have everything in my life that I can point to success has to do with my education. And so to me, that is the number one thing that we can provide for children is a way to succeed, to feel powerful. And we said before we started the call, I want to raise lions, not sheep. I think that we need lions in our country. And of course, that means that we're not going to always agree on everything, but I think that's important. Civil discourse is a term for a reason. We need to be able to exchange ideas, understand each other's perspectives, and build from there. So that's why I'm running. It's as I get into it, I realize it's not going to be easy. Say I'm successful, which I really hope I can be, because I think I do have a lot to offer. It's going to be a hard job. It's a 4-year difficult job, but as a civil engineer, I think I'm up for it. I like problem solving, and I hate seeing problems that aren't being solved. And I feel like some of what occurs is we don't address issues, especially today. We just want to sweep it under the rug. I was telling you before we started our call about how that happens to me in my business with, we do land surveying, and I had a particular instance where I wrote an article today, and it had to do with protecting our land rights. And I got called out for being partisan, where I was just pointing out what's happening land use wise at the state level and nationwide with the 30 by 30 initiative for land. And I guess I'm concerned that we're not wanting to have hard conversations and solve problems. That trajectory for the country is really frightening for me.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I think, especially you brought up mental health. The mental health specifically can be a very difficult conversation, and some people think that maybe the solution is pharmaceuticals or as we've seen a lot of these school districts do, just suing TikTok and these other social media
Right.
giants as if that's going to somehow solve the problem.
That's good.
I mean, these are tough
Mhm.
questions. It's not easy answers for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's great to see though that, parents like yourself are standing up, taking a leadership role in the community to speak out for the kids, because any kid that is, left behind, quote unquote, or not given the proper tools to achieve success in their life, I mean, that's a tragedy. It really is, especially when these schools have so much money and so much capability and so much goodwill in the community. Everybody wants these school kids to succeed. So I think that engineering perspective of saying, well, okay, well, here's the inputs, here's the outputs, what are we getting out of it? Let's look at this
Yeah.
from a 3,000-foot view and really say, where's it not connecting, so I think that'd be very interesting to bring your mindset into the school board for sure.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think we could all do a little better at being proactive, not reactive. And like you said, the pills, the suing, those are reactions to a bigger problem. So I hope we can start solving problems before they become problems, and teaching our children just to be problem solvers, and be accountable, for their actions, and not just float through life. I want to build a really strong tribe. That's always been important to me, but now I want to do it in my community. So it's difficult for me. We talked about this too, and perhaps this is what we end on, but I'm not a very social being. And so this is it's a difficult place for me to be in. I've noticed we'll have forums or interviews like this, and it depletes me, but it's important. And I'm kind of trying to run towards my fears. I've been telling my daughter, you have to, take whatever scares you and run toward it. And she had a speech to give last year, and she didn't actually want to do it in front of her peers. She did it, just in front of her teacher, and she nailed it. But she was afraid to do it in front of her peers, and I'm not showing her that. So that's part of it for me too, is to show my kids I can be your hero, whether I win or not. I'm doing it. So let's do
Oh, that's
the
awesome.
hard things. We have to do hard things. You know.
Definitely. I mean, to achieve great things, you got to do the hard things, right? And
Yeah.
and kind of like we talked about previously, it seems there's I don't know. I always ask this question: Where are all the people? Where are all the good people? Where are the good men and women standing up in our communities? Talking
Yeah.
about some of these hard issues. And I think just the action of even just one person, whether you're inspiring your children or inspiring other people in the community to stand up and get involved, I think
Yeah.
that's so important, especially in these days in this post-COVID world where people became so isolated and disconnected. It's kind
That's
of
so true.
reclaiming that, yeah, reclaiming this social connection, this society where we have individuals who can disagree with each other without going crazy, who can have
Yeah.
conversations, who can come together to solve the problems that we have in our society, and do what's best for the schools or the children or just the community.
Yeah. Because after all, I talk about this often. I'm flirting with 50. I'm almost 50. And what's your legacy really at the end of the day? It's horrifying when you see some of the it's about money and power for some people. And really it should be what we leave on this earth, how we contribute and how we build it. Build people, build our just our world. They contribute to it. And so I'm hopeful that more. It sounds like a lot of people are kind of awakening, and hopefully looking to contribute as well. I'm pretty excited about the changes we could perhaps make in the country. So thank you
Yeah,
for
it's
making
it's
time to talk to me.
definitely. No, it's been really exciting and inspiring to see so many people in these post-COVID years and even during COVID standing up and getting involved, and especially parents taking an interest in what's going on in the schools, because we definitely need more of that. There needs to be a re-engagement of the citizens with their government. We have this professional political class. I mean, I'm sure there's some people on the school boards across the state that use it as a political stepping stone, who are
Yeah.
there for maybe more political career ambitions rather than just trying to provide a good learning environment for their kids.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens when there's too much money tied up in something, right? It becomes corrupt. So maybe we can figure out how to take the money out of it, and just make it about what it should be, helping people.
Well, awesome, Amara. How can people support your campaign?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm always bad about remembering to plug that. I'm at Amara for jeffcokids.com. So that's Amara, the number 4, Jeffco, JEFFCO kids.com. I had said that before and somebody kept saying SS, but Jeffco, like Jefferson County. So Amara for jeffcokids.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, anything else you want to leave us with?
I think that's it. I really appreciate, again, your time. You're easy to talk to. So thanks, Brandon. Thanks for all that you're doing.
Oh, I appreciate that, Amara. Keep up the good fight, and
Oh,
we'll talk later. Best wishes.
okay.
Good luck.
All right. We'll see you.